Welcome to this explainer, where we're diving straight into a pretty shocking reality: why earning more money absolutely doesn't guarantee you'll stop stressing about it. Actually, for a rapidly growing number of high-earning professionals, it's the exact opposite. So stick with me here, because what we're going to cover completely challenges everything we've been taught to assume about wealth and salary.
Okay, let's just jump right in and picture a household earning $500,000 a year. Take a second to really wrap your head around that number. 500 grand. On paper, that drops them squarely into the top income bracket in America. You'd probably think that at that level of income, financial stress would be, a thing of the distant past, right? And well, that brings us to the ultimate paradox of modern finance. How on earth can a family pulling in this much money still find themselves living paycheck to paycheck? Seriously, how do you make $500,000 a year and still go broke? It sounds completely impossible. But as recent financial behavior studies are showing us, high earners experiencing incredibly low financial security is kind of becoming the new normal.
To really get why this happens, we have to look right past the illusion of success. So, Section 1, the high income illusion. This is where the trap is brilliantly disguised. Let's look at Maya. Now, Maya isn't just one person. She's actually a composite profile based on the real hard financial behaviors of $500,000 households. On the outside, Maya's life looks absolutely flawless. She's a senior engineer, her husband pulls in a great salary, and together they've got the whole shebang: luxury cars, the gorgeous suburban home, the kids are in private school. But behind closed doors, Maya has literally zero real cash buffer. When her car suddenly needed a $4,800 repair, she couldn't just pay cash. She had to swipe a credit card. And no, not to get the travel points, but because her quote-unquote high-income life left her completely tapped out.
The crazy thing is, Maya isn't actually irresponsible. She's just a victim of a system that's literally designed to slowly drain her wealth. Which leads us to Section 2, the silent wealth killers, or as I like to call it, lifestyle inflation.
Let's kick things off with what is basically a $1,000,000 mistake: the car illusion. $750. A $750 monthly car payment feels completely harmless to a high earner who's bringing in tens of thousands of dollars every single month. It's just a super easy expense to justify for someone who, frankly, works really hard for their money. But here's the kicker: the real cost of that little justification is staggering. Over just 1 year, $750 a month is $9 grand. But if you keep up that endless cycle of leasing luxury cars over 30 years, that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the ultimate tragedy here: if you took that exact same monthly payment and just invested it over those 30 years, it would generate over $1,000,000 of potential wealth. Instead, high earners are basically signing up for a lifetime subscription to depreciation. Add to that the classic dream home. High-income buyers stretch themselves into incredibly expensive homes just because the bank says, hey, you qualify. But qualifying for a loan and actually affording it comfortably, two totally different things. You get hit with massive mortgage payments, skyrocketing property taxes, and sudden maintenance shocks, and these top earners quietly become house poor. The house essentially becomes a 30-year financial anchor, completely disguised as an asset. And then comes death by 1,000 cuts: the invisible money leaks. These are those incredibly relatable daily habits that feel perfectly normal for a burnt-out professional. You know the ones: ordering food delivery because we're exhausted after a long day, those subscriptions you completely forgot about, premium services you barely even use, constant small shopping trips, and just paying a premium for convenience everywhere you go. On their own, individually, every single one of those expenses seems totally harmless. But when you start adding up these invisible leaks, they can silently drain anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 every single month. And since every expense feels perfectly justified to someone making a massive salary, no one ever really stops to question it. Now, if you have a family, this baseline spending is multiplied insanely fast by child-related expenses: daycare, private school tuition, travel sports, summer camps, tutoring. Child-related spending alone can chew up a massive chunk of a household's income, and it hits right during their absolute peak earning years. As all these lifestyle expenses scale perfectly alongside their income, high earners are pushed into a really dangerous behavioral shift. Section 3, normalizing debt, the manageable debt trap. Basically, to maintain the illusion, earners in that $100,000 to $500,000 range start adopting some dangerous habits. They use credit cards for regular daily spending. They stretch car financing out to 6 or even 7 years.
They take out personal loans just to cover lifestyle gaps. And it feels completely normal to them because, well, all their peers are doing the exact same thing. But living with quote-unquote manageable debt everywhere severely eats into your financial runway. And that runway, the actual months of cash you have to survive if your income just suddenly stopped, is the true measure of security.
The thing is, this isn't a knowledge problem. It's a systemic design problem that incredibly smart people, doctors, engineers, executives, blindly fall right into. Section 4. The savings paradox. Smart people, bad systems. See, the system tricks our brains by pricing pretty much everything in society into neat little monthly installments. The flawed mindset looks at something and asks, can I afford this monthly? But the wealth mindset, it asks a completely different question. What is this costing me over 30 years? It focuses on long-term compounding, not immediate status signals. That massive gap between monthly thinking and 30-year thinking is exactly where all the wealth just vanishes.
The hidden crisis really comes down to this dangerous trajectory. As your income goes up, obviously you get more cash flow, but your lifestyle inflates right alongside it. And because most high earners only contribute a really small fixed percentage to their retirement, their actual savings rate physically drops as their income rises. The end result? Absolutely no real wealth accumulation. They're just sprinting on a treadmill to stay in the exact same place. All right, let's shift gears to the actual blueprint. Let's see how true wealth builders escape this exhausting cycle. Section 5, how to build wealth.
Escaping the trap comes down to 3 systemic steps. It's about prioritizing an automated wealth-building system over sheer personal discipline. First up, wealth builders define enough early on, way before their income inflates their lifestyle. They ask, how much is enough for me, instead of how much can I afford? Second, they automate their wealth before their lifestyle, meaning they invest their money first and then spend whatever is left second. And third, they build rigid, automated systems for their investments and savings. Why? Because human willpower will always eventually fail, but automated systems, they don't.
Let's make this super concrete with a practical example. Automating a $20,000 raise. When you get that bump in pay, instead of immediately upgrading your life by $20,000, you invest first. You automatically route $10,000 straight into your investments. Then, and actually only then, you upgrade your lifestyle with the remaining $10,000. This guarantees that your life improves safely, while your actual tangible wealth scales right alongside it. Because look, ultimately the uncomfortable truth is this. Income creates opportunity, but only discipline creates freedom. Most high earners are failing simply because their lifestyle scales perfectly in sync with their income. Real wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep, how much you invest, and how long you let it compound.
So, if you're ready to stop the endless lifestyle creep and start actually turning your income into true freedom, you can start building real wealth today. You can invest in global US stocks like Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla with literally as little as $1 single on GoTrade. It takes less than 10 minutes to set up an account and start automating your systems using the referral link provided. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. And hey, before you make your next big purchase, just ask yourself, 30 years from now, do you want to actually be rich or just look like you were?